Hello and welcome to my channel. Today, I thought we'd finally get back into some machining on my Delta slow speed drill press tapping conversion. That was hard getting out. It's been a while. The first thing I need to do is get into the rotary table and finish this clamp, if you could remember it. I know it's been a long time, but I need to put that radius on it, 3 3/4 inch diameter cut on here. That's easy enough. Just put it onto the rotary table and just spin it. And then we'll start making new rings. I changed the material. I was going with 3/4 inch like this, but there's no reason to do that. I got some 3/8 material, big enough to make 2 of them. So I got to cut this in half. Like I said, I was going to put it on a piece of wood after I cut these in half and bolt this down, clamp it down, and start milling that out. But first of all, what we need to do is, let's see, I need to drill a hole right in the middle of that so I could put this on the table and mill it. How I was going to do that, just a quickie, I was going to just center up, going from corner to corner. Doesn't have to be exactly in the middle. Pencil lines are good enough. Okay, I just need to put a 1/2 inch hole through there and then get over to the rotary table. Let's put that hole in there. I was just going to do it in my old drill press, my old Burke Machine Tool Company drill press. I'm just going to put it somewhere where in the middle where I made those lines. I usually put a board underneath it so I don't drill into the table. I clamp the board on there and I'm going to use that so my piece don't spin. That don't seem right. I don't know why that was wobbling. Didn't quite make it through. I had this stop set. Boy, I am unorganized. Set this stop a little bit further along there. All right. Now, I could bolt this through onto my rotary table and just mill it and not worry about hitting the table. Let's go do that. Okay, fast explanation of what I'm doing here. I want the clamp to turn out to be 3 3/4, 3.750. Half of that, the radius, is 1.875 to the end. The end mill is a 1/2 inch end mill. 1.875 will put it right in the middle. I need to bring it off another quarter inch right there. And now I know I need to bring that cutter from the center line all the way out 2.125 inches. Let's go do that. It's all set up in the rotary table. All right, this is all set up. Like I said, I have a 3/4 inch piece of plywood so I don't hit my table with my end mill. I'm using a 1/2 inch diameter end mill. Like I said, this is a roughing cutter, and I'm just going to try to cut this all in one cut. I moved it off 2 1/8, like I showed you on the paper, plus another 25 thousandths. I'll do that in a separate cut. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to move in my other 25 thousandths. I've got the table locked here. It looked like it cleaned up here. It really doesn't matter. I think it'll work just fine. Okay, let's get this out of here and put the real part in here. But first I have to cut that plate into 2 small pieces like this, piece of wood, and drill a center hole. Let's do that. Yeah, it didn't clean up over here. It's about 25 thousandths off. That was my eyeball hole over here. Doesn't matter. It worked just fine. Clamp it down. This is the material we're using. I'm going to just make a quick. It isn't exactly square. I just found it in a bucket out there in the garage. That's not too square. There was 2 sides that were halfway decent. This was it. Here and here. It's halfway decent. But what I did is I just made a line from corner to corner. Here. And this way. What did I say? This side is the squares. That will help find the center. And I'm going to cut this right in half. Let's see. This is 4 1/8. That side is 4 1/8. For all practical purposes, it's fine. I'm going to go saw this off, and then we'll find the middle of this, and closest it can be doing this here method. Let's do that. Not too square. But not to worry. We're not making a square. We're making a circle. Okay, what we're going to do is just find the approximate center. It'll be fine. Lots of extra room. We're going to find the approximate center the same way we did with the other piece to find the center of this. Sloppy work. When it doesn't matter, this is how you do it. Fast and dirty. Just get it done. You'd be wasting time playing games with something that doesn't matter. I found the approximate center. Let's get over to the drill press and drill those holes. Let's do this. Looks good. One in a row. This thing moves kind of fast. I need to make something to slow it way down. But not today. All right, let's deburr this and let's get over to the rotary table. All right, I'm in the milling machine. I have the part and the board clamped down in the center, on center of the rotary table. And on each end, I have both part and the subplate clamped down. Back here, I am about 1/8 of an inch below my part, this part, cutting into the wood. I went out, it was supposed to be, let's see, for a 1/2 inch cutter, 2 1/8. I went to 200. An extra 75 thousandths, because after I cut this out, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to take a finishing cutter and do the OD. That is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be cutting out the ID first. My mistake. Let's get that cutter where it belongs and start plunging it and cutting out that ID. Okay, let's look at what I'm doing. I'm cutting the ID like I should have started to begin with. But the ID finishes at 2,750. I have a 1/2 inch end mill. Coming off the center to a finish is 1.125 to bring that cutter in the right spot. But that's a roughing cutter. I'm going to stay away about 50 thousandths. So that's 1.125 minus 50 is 1 inch 0.75 for a rough cut. And then I'll change the end mill and finish that last 50 thousandths in the ID. Now let's go see if I can do this the right way. Okay, I need to move off in my y-axis 1 inch, 0.75. 1. Get rid of my backlash. All right. Should be in the right place. I need to plunge down here and start cutting it out. Hopefully that's where I belong. Let's do this. It appears that I am in to the wood. Yes, I could smell the wood cutting too. Okay, I'm gonna go back down and start my cut. Let's move those chips and see what it looks like. I could actually take that center clamp out of there. In fact, I think I'll do that. That bolt right there. Take that out and then put my finish cutter in there. Okay, that's what I'll do. All right, I changed the cutter to a 3 flute 1/2 inch. I moved it out in X, the 50 thousandths, and I'm gonna go right to finish. And if I screw it up, well, won't be the first time. Let's bring that up, clean it out, and measure it. If I brought it to the right numbers, it could still be undersized. I don't really like using digital calipers like that. I like using my veneer calipers, but I measure over them. I have a better feeling for it. Now, let's go measure over that with a micrometer. This is telling me that it is 2 inches, 750 and 5/10. So it's right there. But I think I'm going to just take a cleanup pass all the way around. An air pass, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to spin it around with the cutter running. And I'm going to call that good. Let's do that. I'm for sure that will work. Now I need to put my angled cutter in there, 45 degree. I'll probably go about halfway down, something like that. Some people might be asking, why would I need to put an angle on there? If you haven't been watching my channel, that is for guiding this gear rack. Gear rack. There's an angle on here. Let me show you a little closer. But when you spin this, you loosen this up and you spin it, or you lower it, bring it up higher. You see this here? The gear rack is going down, up. It keeps it in place. I've changed out the cutter to a 45 degree, or 90 included. I lowered it to where I think I need to be. I'm not making it to any blueprint, so I'm just going to take my x-axis and plunge into that till I think the angle is big enough, and then I'll go around it with my rotary table. All right, I think that's going to work. What I need to do now is put my clamp in and my roughing cutter. put my clamp in, lock this ring down, and then put my roughing cutter in and cut the OD. I'm going to cut it oversized, then put my finish cutter in there. Let's do that. All right, I changed cutters. I have my clamp for my ID. I don't know if you could tell, that's a different kind of roughing cutter. It's more for aluminum, I feel anyway. I'm going to rough this out, take the outside off. I don't even have to do that. Just rough it out and see what kind of finish I'm getting. I may leave this cutter in, or I might change to a nice finish cutter. Let's lock that down and get going. All right. I basically had to change out that cutter because the last one was not a center cutting end mill. I don't know if you saw me bringing the rotary table up and back as I was lowering the cutter, because it wasn't cutting in the center and it was just building up material underneath. That's why at first I started to come from the outside. I couldn't do that with the ID. I would have cut my part in half. But let's see how this goes. I don't know if you saw how easy that, or realize how easy that plunged through there. Okay. I made it all the way around, and it's making a decent cut. So what I'm going to do is just take these outside parts off of there, measure it, and see how much I need to take off. And I'll just take it all in one cut. Four inches, 160. That's about 205 thousandths. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take that and see what happens. that should be right where it needs to be to cut the right size. It's not too bad. I can polish that up. Let's get that out of there. Let's go clean this up. Measure it. Check it on the column. I could have probably made that angle a little bigger, but I need to put 2 set screws in here. And I'll do that after I get the second one finished. The main thing is, does it fit on the column? Let's go check. Drum roll. Fits perfect. Couple of set screws on here. 2, 3 of them. I'll do that when I get done with the other one of these. And there's quite a mess over there. I need to clean that up before I start my second one. I am probably gonna have to get a new board. I don't know. I'll figure that out after I clean it up. I'm thinking that I'm going to do that off camera, make the second one. All right, it all fits. I think I'm going to take this and put it on some sandpaper, clay buff it around the OD. The second part, I'm going to do that off camera, and I don't know if I should paint them. Anyway, I'm going to make the other one off camera. I might even put the threaded holes, 2 set screw holes on in off camera. But anyway, that was a mess. I mean, that was fun. I know I could have just taken a piece of, I have a piece. I could have just cut them off, threw them in a lathe, and did this a lot faster. But this was fun. I call it fun. I like doing this. I am full of chips. Anyway, I think I've accomplished what I wanted. I made my ring on my rotary table. I made a mess. I'll get that cleaned up, and we'll figure out what's next. Probably put this whole thing together. There's not very much stuff. I have to paint a few things. Anyway, clean up the motor, paint it. So, I guess this video is a wrap, and I'm going to have to say, until next time, enjoy.